Business Summit in Washington, D.C. today. This segment is going to be great. I think you'll love it. We're talking to entrepreneurs and business people at their best, and they'll be able to tell you better what they do. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Hi, we are back, and thanks for sticking with us. We're going to have the pleasure of talking to two of our guests, Ms. Dorothy Lavelle and Mr. Charles DeBow, who are with the National Black Chamber of Commerce. Hello, guys.
Hi. Hello.
Thank you for talking to me today. Ms. Lavelle, let's talk about the Black Chamber of Commerce. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is and its history?
Well, it's a 21-year-old organization. It was founded by Harry and Kay Alford. They moved from Indianapolis to Washington, D.C. to provide a mechanism for our people, as business people, to have the kind of resources to make successful businesses. And so because of their extreme interest and hard work, they have produced a very large network now of black businesses. While they have chambers of commerce and all over the country, many of them do not specialize in the needs of our companies, which are maybe a little bit later starting than some of the big companies and all. And so they provide us with resources so that we can have successful businesses. They keep us abreast of what's happening in Congress and other governmental departments that affect our businesses.
Which is very important.
Yes, it is. And if were it not for Harry Alford and Kay and our other guest here, Charles DeBow, who's over special events and activities with the Chamber, we would not know about it in Chicago, where I come from. And I'm a newspaper publisher. They don't regard us as businesses.
I do. And so I'm so glad that you got to talk with us today.
Yes, I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you for asking.
Sure. Charles, now let's talk about if somebody joins the National Black Chamber of Commerce, what is the benefit of being a member with your organization?
We try to have what you need. So there's a number of different levels or types of businesses. Our members are chambers of commerce. Then there are branches of government which we partner with.
Right.
Then there's the Fortune 500 companies that are looking to do business with small businesses. There's the larger end of small businesses all the way down to what we call SOHO, or small office, home office-based businesses. And depending on, almost everybody's looking for access to capital, money.
Right.
By all means. Contacts.
Is there such a thing? No.
It's elusive, but
Right.
it's starting to come back.
Yes.
And there are opportunities there on all the different levels. And some of those people are here at this meeting today that we're hearing that they're making programs and software available to do things online to make it more accessible. But we're excited to have more resources to offer. More than ever in this economy, we're finding people that are just running out of money. They may have had a retirement, they may have had a job that was great for many years, and then at the end, when they think they're retiring, they got to come up with another way to supplement it.
So how do you guys jump in and help those people if they come to you and say, this is our issue, we're running out of money, or we don't have access to it, or just where do you find it? Can you help with that?
Yeah, if it's a business that has a need that fits in a certain way. So for example, if you need financing to finish making products for an order, factoring an order or something like that, there's some companies that just do that. If you're starting from scratch and you are looking for startup capital, there's another type of funding and things like that. This summer at our annual convention in Palm Beach, July 24th, we're having a business plan competition.
Wow.
And part of that is for any kind of business on any level.
Yeah.
Another segment is just going to be for people interested in fashion, jewelry, designs, accessories. That could be a student at a fashion institute, or it could be somebody who has a boutique and looking for Macy's or someone to make an order with them, something like that. So we're going to mentor them, teach them how to do business plans, introduce them to distributors, help them with textile manufacturing, and getting the whole thing up. So we try to help in as much as possible with specifics, but all businesses essentially need the basics. capital has a lot to
And
do
I
with
bet you didn't know that the National Black Chamber of Commerce is international. They have established relationships, many of them in Africa, but all over. As a matter of fact, I can recall one just recently, I think was in Alaska, which is not international since they are state
It's so
now.
important because our world is becoming
yes,
global. Yeah.
very much so. And so we've been to Kenya. We saw the beautiful flowers that they, I believe they're roses.
Horticulture industry.
And yes, and they have this wonderful tea and all that is an export and import kind of opportunity for many companies. And so the National Black Chamber of Commerce is indeed global as well.
Well, I thank you guys for sharing some time with me today.
Sure.
If people want to contact you to find out more information, what's your website or phone?
Right up here is it on? It's www.nationalbcc.org.
Okay.
And you can get all the information right there, and we look forward to hearing from everybody. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you
Thank you guys.
for-
and we're going to
for
talk
doing-
because tell
wonderful.
everybody about your paper. You also have papers, right? You have a newspaper company?
I have two African American newspapers, one in Chicago and in Gary, but I'm part of a board member and a part of a bigger group of black newspapers across the country called the National Newspaper Publishers Association.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right.
wonderful opportunities for these two organizations, so to speak, with the Black Press and the Black Chamber of Commerce. Is a wonderful opportunity for people all across this country.
Well, I thank you. Thank you again.
Well,
okay,
thank
guys,
you.
that wraps up our interview for the next few minutes. When we come back, we're going to be talking to NABO, the National Association for Women Business Owners, with my co-host, Esther Michaels.
This is Esther Michaels, co-host with Janice McLean, and I'm here with Billy DeGroat. She is the incoming chair of the National CHAP Committee or Board for NABO, and she's coming from Indianapolis to head up the organization's board. Hello,
Hi.
welcome to
Thank
the
you.
summit. What made you decide to join NABO?
Well, this was 12 years ago, so I had a business and I wanted to be around a group of women like-minded like myself that I could network with and build my company from.
And we know that women's organizations like this do help businesses grow. What did it do in particular for you? And how would you suggest to other people that maybe they tap into that resource?
Well, if you look at what goes on with this, women business owners are 65% of the population in the country right now that create jobs. So one of the things that made me do that was because of the networking and the other women business owners that I wanted to be around and learn from and be a mentee and a mentor too. So that was what the impetus of joining NABO. But then as I got into NABO, I became one of their leaders. So I'm the architect of a couple of chapters. I'm the incoming chair for NABO National out of Washington, D.C. And not only does NABO have a profound impact on women business owners from policy standpoint, but we also look at our legislators and impact change. We have a seat at the White House. We have a seat at the congressional level here in D.C. I think we're one of the only partners of women's organization that partnered with the United States Chamber last year and this year. So I think that one could say to join NABO would be a reason to affect change for women across the country. And that starts with your own business. And we are proud of the fact that we have 50 chapters throughout the country and that we represent 7,000 women business owners in this country. So thrilled to be here, so thank you.
Wonderful. No, glad to have you here on the program. Tell us, too, a little bit about what does the Board of Directors do for NABO and resources provides?
We are the oversight of all the chapters. There's 52 chapters throughout the country. We are the ones that create the change. For example, we will be on the floor in D.C. at the congressional level, looking and meeting with congressional people to get contracts percentages with the SBA, Karen Mills, the legislators and the policy makers and changes at the West Wing with a sitting president every year. We've been doing this since 1972. And so if you look back, this is our 25th year from the end of Title IX. And I'm part to say that I was divorced in the late 80s. So I'm glad to say that NABO this year is celebrating this 25 years where House Bill 5050 was enacted because we crafted it, lobbied for it, and got the congressional people to sign off on it, where you didn't have to have your husband or your brother or your grandfather sign off on a refrigerator, a car loan, or a bank loan. That's only been 25 years ago. So I would have to say that NABO has a great deal of impact on a lot of change, possibilities and opportunities for women business owners across the country. So I'm thrilled to be part of it, continue that legacy that our 4 women in 1972 created. So part of a long, long legacy of powerful women.
Interestingly enough, I had my first credit card on my own, and when I got married, they wanted to put it in my husband's name. I wrote my letter to NABO asking for that support. So that's how long ago was my involvement with NABO.
And I want to say that 80% of our members in NABO, like for Indianapolis, for example, has a full-time executive director and a full-time paid assistant, and 80% of our members are due $1 million in revenue or more.
Yes.
So not only do we have the attention of the banks, we have the attention of the manufacturers, the attentions of the WellPoints and the Anthems and the Lilies of the world. You know, they want to do business with us, and we want to do business with them.
So if there was one last thing you'd like to tell our audience about why they should maybe look to come to your website, and if you could tell them the website, and what they might find there that can help their business, what would that be?
Opportunities to do business with our corporate partners, opportunities for educational webinars, and if they want to be involved in public policy, we have lots and lots of committees that they can be part of.
Well, thank you. And you would go to www.nawbonabo.org. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be back shortly.
Well, Janice, you have the look and the air of success about you. What got you to this point? Big fan.
And thank you.
Obviously.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working. We're covering all of our bases and territory. What I want to say as far as success for us has been really listening to what our viewers' needs are. But sometimes even I find there's a disconnect with the Small Business Administration.
Sure.
There's a disconnect between who their viewers and their group is, and them serving them, and having tunnel vision about what they think people, entrepreneurs and small business people need. And right now, obviously, the barrier is funding, seed capital, and strategy. So I should be able to come to the one agency that is in charge of making small business run and work well, and be able to find those resources.
Yeah.
Now, how long has your business been in existence? 'Cause people think you just,
18 years.
Yeah.
18 years. So it was pre-internet days. I started as a magazine and call it.
and as a female or as a small business owner, what hurdles have you faced and how did you overcome them?
I think for me, in a lot of ways, it was about being young. So I was 22 when I started the business. So gaining credibility as a young person, learning my way through the business environment was challenging. And now, as a female leader, is just making sure we're thinking about things for all people to help balance work and family and be productive.
And so, what solution or tip or business idea or business tip would you leave with people who are watching this and they say, I want to start my own web-based company and I want to do what she's doing and be successful?
So I think one, find your idea and stick with it. I think that's one thing. We've 18 years going after the same idea, and our model has not. While it's evolved, we're still solving the same problem, which I think is important because a lot of times, entrepreneurs can drown in a sea of opportunity. So I think that is an important element. And number one trait, perseverance.
Angie Hicks, Angie List. Angie's List, thank you. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back with our next guest.
Pardon me?
I'm host Janice McLean. I'm here with a very special guest, Linda Alvarado, whose company is called Alvarado Construction, and she also is the owner of the Colorado Rockies. So this is interesting, right? You're looking at her thinking this is a woman, right? And Linda, I just have to tell you, I thank you so much. I think you are such a sweetheart. And I want you to just talk to our audience a little bit about your story and being a woman in construction and sports and having heels.
I've had this great unplanned career. Even though I grew up with 5 brothers, girls just didn't think about going into construction. But I needed a job when I was in college, and they posted this job, and I showed up, and of course the guy told me, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I need a job." But because the economy was so strong, I got hired. And unlike today, then interest was double digit, inflation was rampant, so I worked for a development company on a construction site. And I just kind of fell in love with it and thought about one day maybe I could do curb and gutter and sidewalk. And while it was crazy, women were entering new fields, but they were looking at what I call the glass ceiling. I was looking at the concrete ceiling because there were no other women there. But that's changed, and women like yourself and others are
And women like you
are making not just progress, making a difference. 20 years ago, I got involved in a story of my life is 5 guys and a girl. I have 5 brothers, no sisters. Got together with a group of guys to pursue a new expansion team in Colorado. And of course, Colorado wasn't given a chance in the world of getting it because we have a small population. There was no baseball team between Kansas City and Los Angeles. We raised the money, we put together the plan, found partnerships through the community to build a new stadium, and we got selected. And what I could have never have hoped for was that opportunity. But my parents and grandparents, like your parents and grandparents, worked hard to get us where we are today. And while we celebrate Jackie Robinson and others, it is about opening doors, no guarantees, but at least the opportunity to try and given that opportunity, not just men of color, women of color are succeeding.
Now, let me ask you, what do you think has changed from 20 years ago to today as far as being a woman in any industry?
Well, women still look like women. And somebody told me when I first started business that I only had 2 problems. And I said, "What are my 2 problems?" I think I have lots of problems. And they said, "You are Hispanic, and people think you're great things." I said, "What's my second problem?" He said, "You're a woman."
Okay. I know you didn't take that well, right?
Well, what I'm saying is that women are entering non-traditional fields much more than they were then. And breaking through and having opportunities to succeed is what they're doing. And supporting each other, not as competitors, but as allies in making a difference.
What has changed in the industry for women today as far as 20 years ago? Is it hard? Is it easier?
Well, no matter what profession, but particularly as you start a business, it's always a challenge, regardless of your gender. But more of a challenge very often because of access to capital, particularly for women.
For women, yeah.
Well, the laws have changed. When I started business, I couldn't get credit because you had to have your father or your husband sign. But finding a bank, building credibility in doing that. Fortunately, there are some programs now that will help us. But women starting businesses has grown. What I'm proud of, it's women of color starting our businesses, and not just about ourselves, creating employment, education, and economic development. And it doesn't just help my community, this helps America.
And you know, I really find that with women, when we start businesses, it's generally not just about us. It's usually for our family, our kids, our community. The construction industry, I believe over the last few years has taken a hit in terms, a lot of things have. So how are you finding your way back? If you ever fell off of the edge, no pun intended anyway.
This cyclical economic situation we find ourselves is very, very different. And quite frankly, the construction industry has been hit very strongly. The residential has to recover first in order for commercial to follow. What we wanted to make sure is that while our volumes came down, we didn't do something dumb by doing bidding that was not correct. On the other hand, we looked at our portfolio and we focused on smaller projects that enabled us to cover overhead, but nevertheless develop new relationships with new clients. It's not about who we are, it's the culture and the commitment and the reinvestment. And I got to tell you, it's not about me. I have a team that's smart. No,
They really are.
you can be the best hitter in baseball, but if you don't have 8 other people out there, you're not going to win the game. And I keep telling them I only hire people smarter than me, and they assure me they all are.
Yeah, you are a sweetheart, Linda. Hey, look, one thing I want to ask you, and I'm going to let you go, all right? Women following in your footsteps, what do they do? One step.
One step.
Don't wear heels, right?
The first step is don't wear these painful shoes. But really, I follow in the steps of other women who open doors for me. And you and I may be the first or the only, but if I remain the first and the only, that's
something
not
wrong. Yes.
what we need to do. And it's not just about women helping women, it's men also seeing the value and the talent, but more than that, recognizing us as not an auxiliary, but we're a primary in partnership, not just with our family, but with America.
Linda Alvarado, you're a sweetheart.
Thank
Guys, stay tuned. We'll be back with more. We have had the pleasure of running into another person who is actually our Small Business Award winner this year, Mary Bumblebee. That's cute. And her last name is Bumblebee, and she has Bumblebee Personal Assistant. So Mary, hi. Thank you.
Thank you.
For coming to talk with us today. Let's talk about what Bumblebee Personal Assistance and services are.
Okay. We give the gift of time. And what that means is to whatever capacity that anyone needs an extra set of hands, more hours in their day, week, or month, we're there to provide the service. So it could be from running errands, helping an entrepreneur grow their business, going to the Office Max and picking up any office supplies, doing their social media, newsletters, busy professional, corporate executive. We can do their grocery shopping, put their groceries away, pick up their dry cleaning, take their car to be maintained.
Wow, you guys do it all.
We do everything except babysit and clean.
Oh my goodness.
But we have vendors we can do that for you. So
Now, how do you get started in Bumblebee Personal Assistance?
sure, I started it. I used to work in retail about 50 to 70 hours a week. Never had time to do anything. Couldn't get any of my dry cleaning picked up in time. Couldn't get to the bank. And the girls that were my associates realized that and started running my errands for me. On their way in, they'd call and say, "Mary, do you need us to pick you up lunch? Do you need us to pick up your dry cleaning for you?" Or on their way out, they'd say, "Can we go to the bank for you? Do you need us to pick up some groceries? We're going grocery shopping. We can leave the dry goods in your car." And I thought to myself, you know what? I didn't have kids. I was working, 60 to 70 hours a week. I said, I bet you there's a lot of right. So I figured, people that do have kids and are going in 40 different directions would benefit from having an extra set of hands that would allow them to do what they love best and spend time with their loved ones over being stressed and just the weekends pass by so fast. Thank you.
People want to find out more about your company's or website?
Sure. It's www.bumblebeepa.com. That's Bumblebee, BUMBLEBEE. P is in personal, A is in assistant.com. We're also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Wow. My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. All right, guys, stay tuned. We'll be back. Our final guest, Mr. Damon John, who is on ABC's Shark Tank right now, but a lot of us are familiar with him from the FUBU brand. So, Mr. John, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about, you were here at the Small Business Summit today. Can you just give us a little bit about what you shared with the audience here today and why it's important as a small business entrepreneur?
Well, I shared various points on how to become a shark or remain a shark. I think that all entrepreneurs were faced with ups and downs no matter where you are in your career. And, I try to give people the insight of some mistakes I may have made, as well as some goals and some ways to set goals. Sometimes you're not going to know how you're going to figure it out, but you need to at least know the mark that you want to go after. I wanted to share with people that they have to love their customer. You see, a lot of times entrepreneurs go out because their need to become wealthy or their need to, no, what are you selling to your customer? Why will they believe you? And are you delivering on that promise? So those are a couple of things that I shared today with them.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you're still doing things with FUBU in the fashion industry, which I believe that you are. Is there still a market for fashion? Is it viable? The industry's changed so much. I wonder if that's still a viable market.
Traditional fashion of the t-shirt brands and the jean brands are not viable at this time as viable before because, people can't pay their rent. But the accessory market is doing well, and, if I was to give anybody advice, if they want to go into fashion, that's the area that they should go into.
Okay, and real quick, I know you have to run your 5 principles that you left today.
First of all, set your goals. Second of all, do your homework. Third, you have to do what you love. The next one is remember that we invest in people and not anything else, and that you have to keep trying.
Hi, Connor. Thank you for joining us today. So, tell me about what you're holding in your hand.
It's my invention. It's called the rubber boot buddy. It mounts in the bed of your truck, and it stores your rubber boots. Because if, like, me and my dad, we live in Texas, my mom, and
your mom. Okay, yeah.
We live in Texas, and we used to put our rubber boots in the bed in the cab, and they would fly out. And instead of putting them between there where they'll fly out, I invented the boot buddy, so your boots will stay dry and easy to access.
Is this for a car?
It's for a truck.
For a truck. Okay. Okay. Now, what other things have you invented? Any other ideas you came up with that you think you want to try? And what brings you to the Small Business Summit?
I'm part of the Young Entrepreneurs Academy.
Okay.
This year's national winner. I won a $30,000 scholarship to RIT.
Wow! Woohoo! Yay! Good for you! Okay. And so, are you going to follow the path of entrepreneurship?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
You are? Okay. How have you done with your boot buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I've had over 120 sales.
So did you do this by yourself? Did your parents help you?
They helped me, but I was the inventor.
You sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything you want to impart on younger viewers looking at this show, being 13 and an inventor? What would you say?
There's always new things to invent.
Okay. Because what?
Because
necessity.
There's always a problem.
There's always a problem. You're a smart young man. You are. Okay. Anybody want to reach you? How do they do that? You have a website?
Yes, ma'am. I have my own website. It's www.rubberbootbuddy.com.
Okay. Connor, my pleasure.